Alright, hey, welcome back once again to my channel. This is Rob, and we are doing our weekly Walking Dead reaction review. Is it darker in here, or is it just me? I don't know. Anyway, this is for season 8, episode 6. Just the darkness kind of is throwing me off a little bit. Thought it'd be lighter in here. Episode 6, which is called The King, the Widow, Rick. So, first reactions is there's some interesting things going on here, but to me, the title is just kind of, yeah, there's those three things, but there's a lot more than just those three things going on. So my real reaction is it's okay. It was good, not great. Had some cool moments. Next week does look to be it looks really good. I thought this one might have a little bit more going on than it did. And it does. There's some interesting things happening here. So maybe, because I've just seen it, that I haven't had time to digest. So these are, as usual, full spoilers, my first reactions, and my kind of review here. So if you haven't seen the episode, go. I'm trying to get this one as done as quickly as possible, actually, because I want to go back to Talking Dead to find out who is going to be that crossover character for Fear, which look, if it's not Abraham, then who the heck could it possibly be? And if it isn't Abraham, who would be interesting enough to do it? David Morrissey as the governor, before the governor, maybe? I don't know. Definitely put that in for the comments, but actually, by the time you watch this, the announcement will be out, so I guess don't do that. So anyway, let's just start right there at the beginning of the title of the episode and go from there. The King. Let's dive right into his stuff. So, not really much to talk about here, except that at the kingdom, it's really sad, and people are putting up little memorials, and Ezekiel's hiding out where Jerry's guarding him, even though he was told he doesn't have to, but it's Jerry, so he's gonna stick around and do his job. While Carol is outside telling him, look, we're supposed to make Rick, you need to get yourself together and come on. So she starts to take off. Little kid's there, don't follow me. She takes off, but the kid ends up following her, and she does her usual almost, I thought she was a break-in, into that whole little story that she told the other kid in Alexandria. I don't even remember that damn kid's name. He was so, the one who got munched on. The one that she threatened with about the cookies and everything. But, no, the kid's like, yeah, I'm going to fight, and I'm going to get the guys who killed my brother. So she lets him tag along. They end up back, she goes back to where Ezekiel is, and basically has a talk with the guy. He's sitting there holding Sheba's chain, feeling sorry for himself, and Carol just kind of gives him a speech about just, I had to act for a really long time, and here I am, I'm still standing, and what you got to do is play the part, then you got to play the part. And, he gives his story about, and still I smiled, and yes, I know, maybe I should feel more emotional about this, but I don't. Yeah, he needs to snap out of it. He needs to figure out a way to man up after a loss. It's pretty bad, but Carol's got a point, Yeah, it's getting knocked down is fine. It's figuring out how to get back up. And that's it for the King part of the story. So, shoveling off to Buffalo. Next part is the Widow, which gets a little bit more interesting. Because right off the gate, we've got Jesus giving out turnips and water to the people that they captured. And Maggie comes on out with Gregory and Eden in tow, and basically telling Jesus, look, you're giving away our food. Yes, it's surplus. It might, be something we would have needed to feed our own people. We don't know. You're kind of just taking it upon yourself to do this thing. And, she doesn't want to agree with Gregory, who's already, just like, let's just kill these people. And so we're back to that whole thing of the question of kill or don't kill. And it keeps going, they talk about how they had built a gallows, and there's this dude on the fence, the one who initially surrendered, talking to Jesus and doing that whole speechy thing that prisoners do to their, the guards of them, like feeling them out, looking for weaknesses, trying to run, make fuck with people's heads, that kind of thing. It's typical stuff. This whole thing, just the whole kill or don't kill these people, is been a pain in my ass since they did it. I agree that people need to be around for after this, but bringing them to Hilltop with babies now and things like that, I mean, that's just a bad idea. It was never a good idea, and you can just see it blowing up in their face eventually. Well, we've got Gregory and Maggie having the discussion about what to do with these people, and him saying, you don't want wolves mixing in with the sheep. And, that's true. Gregory's not wrong. So, in the end, Maggie lets them come in, and they've built a pen where they keep them. And she ends up putting Gregory forcibly in there after he has to take a blow to the head to get in there, because she told him, about, the wolves and the sheep thing. Well, you're a wolf, and I was thinking the exact same thing as it was coming out of his mouth, is you're going in that pen too. So he's crying and whining and gets dragged in there, and of course, Captain Dickhole from the Savior that killed Ben, is that his name? Ben Morgan's little buddy, tries to get a gun. Maggie has to beat him up. And, I just love how they keep these characters that should have died episodes and episodes ago. It's so much fun, because here's what usually happens. They either die unceremoniously all of a sudden, just like, or they end up causing havoc in some way until they get that, and they take out more innocents, and until somebody really gets a vicious kill on them. Just put this guy down. What's gonna happen. One of those two things: unceremonious death, or you're gonna cause havoc, just because you wouldn't just take out one douchebag. So anyway, that's pretty much the Hilltop story, except that Jesus is told, look, these people are bargaining chips. This is by Maggie, and we may need them to trade for some of our people. So that's why they're here. If we do not need them, we're going to have to kill them. So just when Jesus thought that everything was okay and hunky-dory, we've got our prisoners and potential people to live in our bigger world, Maggie gives them the real 411 and lets them know that these people probably are going to die anyway. I doubt it. Whatever's going to happen at the Hilltop is going to negate, I think, any of this speech. But it's a nice sentiment. So anyway, that's the widow part of the story. Better than the kingdom part. So, boom. Over. Now we got Rick. Rick, who is at the trash people. I love the trash people. No, I don't. I don't care about these people, and I wish they weren't written in the show, but here we are. So Rick goes and tries to make a deal with these people who like to sit around naked, wearing nothing but overalls, not overalls, like an apron, like a rubber apron while they do their work. Some of them do. Knocks on the door, tries to make a deal. I mean, this is Bing Bang Boom, okay? Tries to make a deal, shows them pictures, tells them the saviors are on the way out. You need to help us, we'll destroy you. She says no, again, after saying I shot you, and Rick constantly saying, you know, you grazed me. You didn't shoot me, you grazed me. I think he says it like 3 times. And she sends him packing into a little storage shed where they strip him of his clothes, and he's just sitting in there with a mark on the door she puts there, which that mark on the door seems to be a pretty recurring mark that we've seen throughout the show. And I can't remember how many times, and if I'm right about this, if somebody else remembers this, where else was that mark? I almost feel like it's something around Terminus, things like that we might have seen this mark. So, or on trees, things like that. So maybe these trash people have been around. In the comment section, somebody tell me this. I don't feel like looking it up myself. Sorry. But I do feel like it's something. Maybe I'll look it up one of these days. But it feels familiar. And that's it. That's the Rick part. Done. Over. Big deal was made about that in the trailer. A lot more is going to happen next week, so, it was all just set up for what's going to happen with Rick and the Trash People next week. So, the King, the Widow, and Rick. Story's done. Now we get to some really actually interesting things. We have Carl, who meets comic book character Siddiq. I wasn't sure that was him. It's not quite the version that we know from the comic, but that is Siddiq. A person who people have probably been waiting for. I particularly could take him or leave him, but he is part of this comic. So here we have our introduction, our television show introduction of Siddiq. Carl, giving him food and water, explaining, the situation about his dad. And it's pretty interesting. It's nice to meet a new character, hopefully with somebody, with potential to have an impact on the show. Again, Carl fighting off a little bit more than he can chew his walkers again. So there's that whole thing. They almost get killed, and now Carl's bringing Siddiq back with him. Again, Siddiq has some pretty significant things to do in the comic. So it's nice that if they do him right, there will be some interesting things going on. So just to let you guys know who don't read the comic, he is a comic book character. He has a significant role to play. We'll just see how far or close they keep to it. So there's that. And now we got Michonne, Rosita, Daryl, and Tara, all kind of doing their own thing a little bit. Daryl finds Tara at Alexandria, and Tara and him are both basically talking about killing Dwight. And Daryl kind of giving her the lowdown on that we can maybe do it together, and we can maybe get rid of this whole thing sooner than possible. So he's not, changed his mind from last episode, and now he's got Tara to help him out. So we've also got now Michonne getting in a car. Rosita jumps in with her so that she doesn't have to be alone. Michonne just wants to see the sanctuary and prove that things are happening, because it's hard being left behind. And she's talking about how all the alarms are going off in her head, and she just, ever since Rick left, it just doesn't feel right. So they go off to see what's going on, and then they're going to come right back. But you know how that goes, right? A lot of accidents. Most accidents, they say, happen within a few, like 15 minutes of your house, that kind of thing. Now, a physical accident doesn't happen, but things just go wrong when they don't get that far away and they hear music coming from somewhere. And again, I wonder if this is a place that they knew of or been to or seen, but it looks like like an abandoned school or something. And Rosita and Michonne go inside. They find these two people, saviors, that have a truck with a whole bunch of speakers on it. So basically it's like a cache that they find. There's weapons, there's all sorts of stuff that the saviors use. And apparently these two had seen what happened, and now they've built this truck with speakers on it to drive past the sanctuary and lure the walkers away so that Negan can get out. Now, Michonne is still hurt, and Rosita is still hurt, so it just makes sense that once somebody screws up, this is a fight that they're not really ready for. So when Michonne accidentally kicks a tennis ball across the room, and they all start firing at Rosita and her, and even when she's able to get her weapon out and her sword, and she's sore, she can't move, and she's got this lady on her, and the other lady is telling her partner to go and get the truck out of here and go get Negan out. This is my favorite part of the episode. The guy turns a corner, and there's Rosita with a rocket launcher. Haven't seen the rocket launcher in a while. Always been Daryl that's been handling them, and I love it. She's just like, put it down, put the gun down, and I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is about these saviors not being afraid or show the respect to a rocket launcher as they should. But he's like, you're not gonna, and she just blows him up. That's a great effect, very cartoony. Just blows the fuck out of this guy. And in the meantime, the lady gets away, gets in the truck, drives away. Music's playing. Rosita and Michonne are walking, standing there looking at it go away, and you're just like, shit, well, saviors are getting away. Oh shit, Daryl runs into them with a frickin' garbage truck. Or some kind of truck. So, just when you think she's getting away, Daryl just slams into her out of nowhere, takes the truck out with the speakers, shoots her up a bunch of times, and we get our little meetup of Michonne, Rosita, Daryl, and Tara, and them all realizing that they've got, Daryl saying that there's a lot more work to do. That's pretty much the episode. That part at the end, their little couple of things are really, really good. Aaron and Enid leaving. Not quite sure where they're headed. Says it could, bring some food. But he's got something in mind. Not 100% sure what that is. Maybe I don't know, honestly. So there's that going on. And is there anything else I'm forgetting? Probably am. I'll be done with the video and be uploading it and remember it later. But the beginning with Rick and all the voiceovers of Maggie and them reading letters, very Ken Burns Civil War reminded me of that. Just the way they're all getting letters and the way that they're receiving their information and everything about what went down in the battles and stuff. Very Ken Burns style documentary. It was interesting. And just the way that they're telling the stories. So it will be interesting to see what happens to Rick next week, because they know where he is, and he said that they would destroy them if he didn't come back. And we've got Dwight and Negan and Dwight and Eugene having a little powwow. So that'll be all next week. Again, if you like this video, look, I know this one wasn't very entertaining. I thought it was a little bit entertaining, but if you like this video, hit like. Please subscribe. We're almost up to 30 subscribers. Let's keep it going. Thank you very much to everybody who's been participating. Comments. Let me know what you guys think of this episode. What do you like about it? What don't you like about it? Where do you think it's headed? And who's going to die in the mid-season finale? Share this video with your friends. And don't forget, we also have Mr. Robot. We got December 1st. Mr. Robot's on Wednesdays. December 1st, we got Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. We're also doing Runaways. Netflix is The Punisher, and I've got a couple of videos out for my Waited for Blu-ray segment on my channel. You can check them out. It's a thing I do for movies that I didn't get around to see due to circumstances. Either I couldn't afford it, I heard they were no good, or they never came to my area. So, anyway, this is Rob from Smirking Gun. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.